All right, guys, I apologize for that. Looks like we're going to have to do a part 2 of this video. So please follow along with me. I'm only 11 minutes deep, so maybe we can go a little bit longer, okay? So over here, I want to show you my Killing Joke. This is a one-of-one piece that I had made, specially made, not too fancy or anything like that. But it is the Killing Joke with the promo poster because that was released in the movie theater. I also have my 9.6 Killing Joke, first print. Why don't I have a 9.8? Because I found this one in the wild. And if you ever follow me on my show, 3 Men in the Basement, my Instagram story, I enjoy finding books out in the wild, submitting them myself, and finding out what grades they come back. I'm not really a flipper, so if there is a book that I want to get of a higher grade, I will then typically sell that book to get that book. But I'm not going to go out and buy, a higher grade book when I have the raw book. So I'm kind of like that. Over here, I have a little part of my basement that I have pictures of people who have passed away in my life. So this really isn't comic book related, but it's more of the history of my life. I have my mother and my father who have passed away, my father-in-law, one of my good friends from college. Over here, I'm going to show you my favorite part of the room. This is the famous 11, okay? These are all books that I find to be very important in my frames. Now, I change these frames quite often to keep them out of the sunlight and stuff like that. I'm a huge Legion of Doom collector. Super Friends was very important to me when I was growing up. So over here, I have some of my favorite books. I have the first appearance of Bizarro, the first appearance of Black Manta, the first appearance of Gorilla Grodd. Over here, I have a Batman frame that I had custom made by the Classy Collector on Instagram. It's a really cool Batman frame. Up there, I have Batman 121, the first appearance of Mr. Freeze, a very hard book to find, CGC 3.5. I also have Batman, I don't even know that number. It's the first appearance of the Silver Age Joker. Signed by Neil Adams. Below, I have some yellow covers, okay, that kind of progressively go up in grades, but the fact that they're together is because of the yellow covers. I have Skrulls number 2, Fantastic Four number 2, graded at a 2.0, so that's linear to me. I have Batman 121, The Death of Gwen Stacy, 7.5, and next to it I have one of my favorite villains in the Marvel Comic MCU, Daredevil. That's an 8.5 submitted by myself. Over here, I have some gems that I've just recently picked up, okay? I have Fantastic Four 50, what is that? That's a 50 anniversary issue, of course. Some floating heads on it. 7.5, then we go up. I have a great book right here. Daredevil number 3, I believe. No, actually number 4. First appearance of Purple Man. He was great in the Jessica Jones. And over here, I have one of the pride and joys of my collection. My FF13, the first appearance of the Watcher, graded at an 8.5. Very hard book to find in that grade. I was very happy. My good friend Dennis, 4 Comics, actually gave that book to me at a great price. The Watcher, to me, is a great character, and especially if Stan Lee is going to turn out to be the Watcher, then I think that's really cool, all right? So this is the living area. Now I'm going to go on to some books, and I'll tell you the relevance of it, and this is the gist of some of my collection, okay? And I'm going to go step by step because there is stories to all of my books. Walking Dead number 1, I just got back from CGC. 9.8, I rescued that from an LCS who found it in a bunch of long boxes, and I got 1, 2, 3 at a great price, and I was very shocked when that book came back at 9.8. Okay, I have Iron Man 55, the first appearance of you-know-who, Thanos, double signed by Stan Lee and Jim Starlin. Contemplating taking that book and cracking it, and having it triple signed by Roy Thomas. If it comes back a half a point lower, I'll be okay with that. Because it is my book and it is part of my personal collection. Over here, I have one of my favorite books of all time. We're getting into some good stuff right here. Strange Tales number 89, the first appearance of Fang Fang Foom. Don't we just love saying Fang Fang Foom? One of my favorite books at a 5.0. Solid grade for that book because it's a very hard book to find. Nobody really cared about. This was the Dick Ayers, Jack Kirby, kind of Steve Ditko beginning where they were kind of messing around with new characters. Over here, I have 2 iconic books back to back, both at the same grade. Fantastic Four number 4 and Avengers number 4. And without these books, these are huge Silver Age books that for not being number 1s are very important books for anybody's collection, okay? Both were bought in raw, pressed and submitted myself. Both came back solid 5s. Very happy with that. Now over here, why this book is here, Captain America 111, you're going to think that's not very, why does he have that book? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I have that book triple signed by Joe Sinnott, Jim Steranko, and Stan Lee. And I was there when they signed all 3 of those books. So that book was me, my legwork, all getting signed, okay? Then we're going to start backwards. My latest acquisition is Amazing Spider-Man 361, first appearance of Carnage 9.8. Wasn't necessarily a book that I was looking for, but I went to an LCS in New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, Four Corners Comics, and the owner was really cool. He sold it to me at GPA, which I'm okay with because they're not about losing money. However, he did throw in a t-shirt from his store, and I thought that was really cool. Next to it, we have the all-new, all-different X-Men 94, 8.5. I'd like to have that book at a 9.2, but I'll take it at an 8.5 because it is such a great book, okay? Then we have, now we're getting into some number ones here. We have my X-Men number 1, old label, 3.5, with Stan Lee written on the inside cover. Now, did Stan Lee write it, or did somebody else write Stan Lee? I don't know. I don't have the cojones to crack it and resubmit, maybe press it if it came back a 4. I don't know if the half a point is worth the risk of it, but I would really like to see if it is a Stan Lee signature. Over here, I have ASM 300, okay? First appearance of Venom. This book was rescued from actually a guy that had him sitting in a box. He had 4 of them. His father owns a his father owns a convenience store and just grabbed a bunch of books back in the 90s, and I was able to grab it. What's really cool about this is I have 298, 299, 300, and 301, all at a 9.4. So to me, that's very, very linear. And right over here, I have the pride and joy of my collection, okay? This is my Hulk 181. Wolverine is my favorite superhero. Along with Hulk, this is a CGC 9.2. One of my favorite books of all time. I saved up. I worked hard to get this book in a high grade. It is cream to off-white pages. I'm okay with that. Sure, I would like it to be off-white to white, but it's just not sometimes realistic. And I got it at a good price point. This book has skyrocketed since I bought it. So even with the lower page quality, I think I'm in good shape with it. All right. Now we're going to go over to here. And this is kind of a fun area too. So if you can just bear with me right here as I move some stuff. This little cabinet is a work in progress, and I'll show you what I have in there. I have my What If Venom 8 Deadpool with some figures. I have Doctor Strange 169 and 170. I have my original G1 Transformers that my mother saved when I was a kid. My mother's been gone for many years. I've got some cool Sinestro Hal Jordan figures that I want to pair up when I get the first appearance of Hal Jordan. Down here, bottom shelf, I have my Teen Titans number 2, which was a very important book to me because when I was a kid, I went to a comic shop. I went to a Comic-Con with $30 in my pocket because $30 when you're 11 years old in the 80s is a lot of money. I paid I think I paid $8 for that, which is a big part, 2/3 of my bank. I did have it signed, double signed by George Wolfman and Mark Perez. I've never had it CGC'd. It is banged up. When I was a kid, I did read my books. I still read my books, so there is some wear and tear. And behind it, I have First Nightwing, double signed also. Very happy to have that. Then on the bottom, I just have a Craven figure and stuff like that, all right? Over here, I have some of my favorite posters, all signed and autographed to my family. And I like autographing this stuff to my family because I hope that this stuff will become family heirlooms, okay? Flash Gordon was a great movie when I was a kid. So I met Sam Jones a couple years ago, Sam J. Jones a couple years ago at Terrificon. I think he was there 3 years ago. He will be there again this year, so I'm going to have him sign it again. Down here, I was able to meet Ron Wilson. This is one of my favorite comic books of all time. When I was a kid, I read this book over and over and over again because it had so many different heroes in it, only because the thing was a boxing, and it was, I didn't have money to buy all these books, but every panel had Thing boxing a character until he had to box a champion. Up here, I have my double Rob Liefeld signature. Now, what's unique about this is everybody has a New Mutants 98 signed, right? A lot of people have that or whatever. So I was like, let me do something different. So I rescued this print from an LCS, and I had Rob sign it, and he actually signed it twice. And what's really cool about it, Rob Liefeld has 2 different signatures. You can see his signature up on top, and then he did a Deadpool with the Liefeld on the bottom. Right here, I have a print done by Joe Sinnott. Joe Sinnott is the inker who's still around today. He's in his 90s. He changed the way Kirby drew the Fantastic Four. He was a very important person when it came to the art of the Fantastic Four. Just a fantastic guy, really classy signature. Down on the bottom, I have one of my favorite artists, Mr. Jim Steranko, okay? I met him. He's always a keeper of the court. He loves to talk to you. He loves to tell you stories. Great, great signature. Just happy to have that, all right? So I'm going to move over here. We're almost done, if you guys can keep with me. Up here, I have a print, The Justice League, done by Alex Ross, one of my favorite artists. Definitely top 5 favorite artists. Here I have this Teen Titans poster that I bought when I was a kid. I saved it for so long. I actually have 2 of them. I'm going to sell one of them if you ever watch one of my live auctions. But this is a George Perez poster, and I was able to meet George Perez and Marv Wolfman separately, and they are both able to sign it. And over here I have prints done by some individual, not individual artists, but some independent artists that I picked up along the way. Stuff I thought was very cool. The Big Bang Theory, not too much a fan of the show because I live the Big Bang Theory, but they are dressed up as the X-Men, and I think that's really neat. Bane versus Batman, that's for my kids because they're huge fans. And down here I have an Iron Man poster at Terrificon. Terrificon is at a casino, and I ended up winning some money on an Iron Man slot machine at the casino, so I thought it was only relevant that I picked that up, all right? So that's just a quick tour of my room. I'll give you a little roundabout of everything that we have here. So again, I'm Otto. I have a show. We have a show on Instagram, on YouTube called 3 Men in a Basement. I'm also a part of the Lords of the Long Box crew every Wednesday night on Lords of the Long Box on YouTube, where we talk comic books and stuff like that. I just was asked to be on their show, so things are going good in the comic book world. And I will show you one more thing. This is a print of Mr. Incredible that I picked up at Disney a few years ago. And I'm a huge Incredibles fan. I believe that Mr. Incredible is more than just a superhero. He's an iconic father, father of 3 kids. He just finished saving the world, and he has to save it again. Kind of something that I find that happens in my daily life. Of course, I have a Mrs. Incredible in my life, and my Mrs. Incredible always saves the day, all right? And I don't have a print of that yet, but when I definitely will, the goal is to have prints of all the Incredibles. I am going to do a post on Instagram in a little while. Oh, still rolling. Okay. I am going to do a post on Instagram in a little while for First Appearance Friday. I picked up some Marvel Selects. Poison. A hot book I think you guys should be buying right now is Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. He's going to make an appearance in that movie, in the cartoon, so in the Spider-Verse movie, so pick it up. Apologize for a little bit of a mess. So you guys, I am Otto. This is my Grotto, and catch us 3 Men in the Basement on YouTube. Every other Friday. Please give us some subs, give us some shares. We really appreciate it. So I am Otto. This is my Grotto, and I'm signing out. Thank you very much.